Hey friends, I'm so sorry. I've had crazy internet problems. Hold on just a second, let me turn the light on. Hey friends, thanks for coming to join me. Oh, there's a nice light behind my head now. Too annoying. It's so good to see you. I live in the mountains of North Carolina and I've had a crazy time getting my internet to work. So the joys of Sunday night. Let me move a little. How are you guys doing? Thanks for coming. Thanks for still waiting on me. Whew. Thanks guys, you guys are awesome. Okay, so I just need to get my PowerPoint pulled up. Can you type into the chat one thing that you learned this week that you want to share with other people? A tip or a trick or something fun in Spanish that you learned? Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm so sorry. I've been working hard and then I just really appreciate you guys waiting. Everything's around the classroom. That's awesome. Thanks, Jonathan. Anybody else have anything interesting to share today? Try to think of one thing, even if you think everybody already learned that, maybe they didn't. All right. We're in unit 3 this week. I'm going to be talking about La Casa, Costa Rica. That's fun. Yeah, a lot of really great stuff about Costa Rica in the cultural notes. That's awesome. So we're going to talk about La Casa tonight. And these are the things that we're going to be covering. Los colores, tamaño. Tamaño means size. Cuartos de la casa, cosas en la casa, los muebles, género y número con los sustantivos y adjetivos. Estar, talking about cerca de and lejos de. Possessive pronouns, and we're going to review the verb tener. So we're just going to get started because we're late because of me. Amarillo and amarilla are these colors. So I want you to tell me something that you know that is amarillo or amarilla. And if you can do it in Spanish, that would be super great. Amarillo or amarilla. Yeah, banana. El plátano es amarillo, not a capital A there, but I think it's single spelling in Amarillo, Texas, right? Mostaza. Okay, so we can say la mostaza es amarilla. Why did I say amarillo for plátano, and why did I say mostaza is amarilla? What do you guys think? Put an O on the end of it for amarillo, and why did I put an A on the end of it for mostaza? Mostaza is feminine, so we have to put an A on the end of it, right? We can't just leave that O hanging out there. But what if I changed it to los plátanos son? What would I put in that blank there? Los plátanos son. It's really close. Really close. It is masculine. We have to keep it O, but we also have to add something else. Why do we have to add something else? Amarillo is correct, but we have to add one letter to the end of it because we changed it from el plátano to los plátanos. Yeah, we're gonna put an S on the end. That's right, Kaylin. Is it Kaylin or Calvin? Kaylin. Hey, we have to add an S. That's right. We have to make it plural. So los plátanos son amarillos. Because what does amarillos refer to? Kaylin? Okay. Thank you. Los plátanos, what does amarillos refer to? Obvious, it's an obvious question. Yeah, color, yeah, but what the color of what? Thanks, Kiara? You guys have awesome names. Have to help me out if I'm saying it totally wrong. Yellow, yes, but what's the color? The yellow is the color of the what? What is a plátano? Somebody said it at the first when you said banana, right? A banana, right? Plantains, yep. But in some cases, banana it's just a banana, plátano, right? Okay, so we have it, great. And we know that the bananas are plural, and that's why we have to add that there. So we have this word blanco or blanca. So can you guys name something that is blanco or something that is blanca? I'll add something. Las nubes en el cielo, las nubes son blancas. Las nubes son blancas. A door, some paper. Una hoja de papel es blanca. Here we changed blanca to blanca because it's describing the hoja, the sheet, and paper. Sometimes people get confused and they're like, why is it not papel? Well, it's the sheet of paper. And so we have to go by that thing to decide. Una puerta es blanca. The door is white. There definitely could be that. And I said las nubes, the clouds are. So whether we're describing one thing, we're going to say es, or two things, we're going to say son, right? Is or are. We have to change that depending on what we're saying. So we could say las puertas son blancas. And we have to change puertas to plural. We have to change the verb to plural. And we also have to change the adjective to plural. That's where the difference comes in Spanish and English. Negro or negra, depending on this word. So please be careful and sensitive to this word because we have to say it correctly. Negro and negra. Here. And you can make those endings rojo and roja. If you don't know how to roll your R's, you can say the word para. Kind of sounds like a D. Para, 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 over and over and again. And it's going to teach you how to say it. You actually already roll your R's when you say the word butter. Butter. If you say butter, right where your tongue hits with the TT, butter, that's exactly where you roll your R's with. So I know you can learn because I also had to learn myself. Morado. This word mora means berry. So that's a good thing to remember when you know this word because it's one of the words for purple. Morado, morada. You can also say violeta. Totally a thing, right? You can say rosa or rosado for this color. Marrón or café. Azul. That's one of my favorite ones, but guess what? Azul doesn't end in an A or an O, right? So if I wanted to say la puerta azul, that means the blue door. Not a capital P there, but nothing keeps capitalizing stuff there. La puerta azul, the blue door. So where did I put the adjective on this one? Did I say the blue door? I could say the blue doors, las puertas azules. I said the door blue, right? So in Spanish, we have a little bit of something going on where we say the noun first and then we say the adjective. So I'll write this down here now. Adjectives of quality go after. Adjectives, good job, the azul, of quantity go before. Dos puertas azules. Here I didn't put las puertas, I put dos puertas. So dos is my quantity adjective, two. Then I have my doors, and then afterwards I have my adjective. And I make my adjective plural if it's plural. If it has an L on the end, like the azul, to make it plural, I can't just add an S, I have to add ES, all right? What if I wanted to say a lot? The next color, all right? Muchas puertas verdes. Notice here, I put muchas first because it's an adjective of quantity, how many, quantity, then the number or then the noun, and then quality goes after. So this means a lot of green doors. A lot of green doors. There are two words here, naranja and anaranjado or anaranjada. Naranja is also the word for an actual orange fruit. So you can use both of these for the color orange though, naranja and anaranjado. Depending on the country that you're in, you might want to just go with what they do best. And here's a great one. You can take a screenshot of this guy if you would like. It's a good one to have all of the colors on one page. Los colores. I am full screen. Yeah, I'm full screen. Maybe you can go full screen. I can also send you a screenshot afterwards. You can just send me an email. I promise I can share this with you. Okay. To describe, we have some different words here. Grande, pequeño, bonito, caro or cara, barato, amplio, viejo, and nuevo. So looking at these words, which ones do you not know at all? Type it in the chat if you don't know what it means. You're like, whoa, I don't understand that one. I don't got that one. If you talk about grande here, we have this big cup right here. Grande, and we have this small cup, pequeño, right? Okay, great. I see some coming through. All right, we will go through the pictures. This is bonito or bonita, pretty, right? Caro, when I saw that on the list, caro means expensive. If it's an adjective, caro means expensive. It can also be a noun, la cara, that means your face. So I always think about your face being expensive to remember those. Barato, barato is the opposite of caro. Caro is expensive, barato is inexpensive or cheap. Somebody put the word amplio. Amplio means spacious, wide open spacious, amplio, wide open spaces. Viejo, somebody put that down. This is an example of viejo versus nuevo. So this is viejo. This is nuevo. Or actually, it would be vieja because it's describing a casa. Una casa vieja, right? Or una casa nueva. And all of these, are they going to go before or after the noun? What do you guys think? Before or after the noun? Are these adjectives of quantity or the adjectives of quality? That's right, they're going to go after. Yep, so these are all adjectives of quality, right? We're describing them, not the number of them, but we're describing them. Then we have our cuartos de la casa. These are cuartos, la cocina. These are all in your vocabulary. La sala, so if you need to look at them again, I can show you where to find the vocabulary in your course. Dormitorio, sótano, just going really quickly, sorry. Comedor, baño, patio, garaje. A lot of these look like the words in English. Escalera are your stairs, and balcón. If you guessed balcony, you're correct. And these are things that you can do in your rooms. You can talk on the phone, you can watch TV, you can clean, you can drink, you can eat, you can listen to music, spend time with friends, write stories, receive text messages, you can see a movie, you can skate. all of these things. Hablar por teléfono, that first one. Mirar la tele. Limpiar. Beber. Escuchar música. Pasar tiempo con amigos. Escribir cuentos. Recibir mensajitos. It's on a really old phone. Ver una película or patinar. So if we talk about, let's go back to this. If we talk about what we do in a room, which is one of the writing things that you're going to have to do, right? So if we wanted to say, let me see if I can go back to, I want to bring this. In the kitchen. So how would we say in the kitchen? The kitchen is the first one here. In the kitchen. I drink milk. Let's try that. In the kitchen, I drink milk. In la cocina. So if I wanted to say in the dining room, en el comedor, en el baño, that's how I'm going to start out my sentence. In this room. And then you want to talk about what you do. So let's talk about the kitchen. Let's talk on the phone in the kitchen. Or I'm sorry, let's drink milk. So we have beber. Can we say in la cocina? Beber la leche. Is that a correct sentence, my friends? Why? You're right, it's not. It's almost correct. We got in the kitchen, we got to drink, we got the milk. What's the thing that we have to change? What's the one word that we have to change in this one, guys? You got a 1 in 6 chance of being right. Just try to guess. You can do this. Believe in me. Yeah, we do need to use yo. No, we don't have that word patinar in there. We're just looking at those sentence at that sentence I put. In la cocina, beber la leche. What's the one word that needs to change? Just name any word in that sentence. In la cocina, beber la leche. Yo and patinar are not in my sentence, so I can't change those words. Yep. So Christopher, he changed it for us, but it's not the only word. It's not the word that needs to change. He's right. He changed the whole sentence for us, but the word that needs to change is beber. So just try to answer the question. Just guess any word. Beber needs to change. He changed it correctly, but he switched all of my sentence around. So I want to say in la cocina. Then I have this word beber. And then I have this word leche. So I have a space here. I know I need to change this beber word. And I do need to change it to bebo, like Christopher said. He added in a yo, so I can do that if I want to. But I don't have to, right? I can just say bebo. And the way you can guess, or not guess that, the way you can find it to check yourself is to go to verb conjugator. This is wordreference.com. It's one of my favorite places. And you're going to go to verb conjugator in Spanish. So Christopher just dumped a lot of steps, and that's great. And if you can do that, that's wonderful. But I want to teach you how to walk through the steps, because when you get by yourself, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what I did here. So you're going to go to word reference. You're going to look up the verb beber, and here in the present tense column, you're going to find the yo form, right? So he said yo bebo. In Spanish, this yo is optional. This bebo obviously is not optional if I'm going to say that I drink. So here inside of my chat, to fit in my sentence, if I just change one word, I can make it a complete sentence by saying, en la cocina bebo la leche. I have to say bebo because I'm going to say I drink the milk. How would I say we drink the milk? These guys means we. Nosotros. Great job, Christopher. He knows that nosotros means we, and then bebemos. So if I wanted to change it to we drink, I basically just change bebo to equals bebemos, right? Bebo, I drink. Bebemos, we drink. So I replace that in the sentence. In the kitchen, I do this. In the kitchen, I do that. What about our other things? We said in the kitchen, we said in the dining room. What's something that we could do in the dining room? Something on this list. Yeah, we could say we eat, comemos. What's the something that we could eat? Check our verb. We could go over here and at our word reference, we type in comer, and nosotros comemos, we eat. Great job. What's something that we could eat? Vegetales, of course. Y mostaza. I'm just kidding. Vegetables and mustard. All right. So everybody feel pretty good about that? Do you want to do one more? In el baño, what's one of these things in this list that's something that we could do in the baño? I'm sorry, Kaylin, I totally get that. Don't worry. Thanks for telling me. In el baño, what's one of these things that we could do in the baño? What if we wanted to say, we could use it, I use it. All right, well, yeah, limpiar. In this case, one of these on this list is limpiar, because that means to clean. So we can, or recibir mensajitos. Yes, that happens a lot too. All right, so if we wanted to say clean, or if we wanted to say use, right? Usar is the word. If we wanted to find it and you didn't know how to conjugate it, to check yourself, you could go here and you could say I use the bathroom, or he uses the bathroom, or they use the bathroom, right? What if I wanted to say they clean the bathroom? Limpiar. I take my verb. If you know the endings, that's great. If you don't know them, you can check these out here and be like, oh, that's going to be limpian, because it's they clean the bathroom. Limpian el baño. Ellos limpian el baño. What's the last one? Oh, recibir mensajitos. So we can type in recibir here. And okay, recibir. Yo recibo mensajitos en el baño. So hopefully that will help you out when you're saying this is something that I do here in this place. So, agreement and gender and number. I'm going to go present again. So there's always agreement, and it's called agreement in number and gender, right? Dormitorios is plural here. So we also have to use a plural verb, son, and then we have to use a plural adjective because this adjective refers to dormitorios. Los dormitorios son grandes. La sala de estar, the living room, is the room, la sala. And we have to know that that's singular, and then we're going to also end it in an A because sala is feminine. La sala de estar es pequeña. Las casas, it's plural, right? So we have to use the plural verb. Las casas son rojas, right? The plural verb doesn't have to be, the verb isn't masculine or feminine. The verb is the only part that's not masculine or feminine, right? Everything else is either masculine or feminine related to what we're describing. Last one, es un lápiz amarillo. And all of those adjectives are adjectives of quality. So they're after there in those sentences. When we talk about the verb I, you did this a little bit in your last one. Does anybody remember what I means? H-A-Y? H-A-Y. And you say it just like your I, it looks like hey, right? But you say I, because H is silent. Does anybody remember what H-A-Y means? You can look it up if you don't know. Not just there. Yeah, there is or there are. Yes, both of those. It can mean there is or there are. So this first sentence is describing this first picture here. What does this first sentence say? Hay una lámpara rosada. That's right, Kiara. Yep, there are. Hay una lámpara rosada. There is a pink lamp. Yep, there is a pink lamp. This next one, there are, it's furniture, so. You were thinking there are, yeah, some bookshelves, because we're talking about furniture in this one. There are some bookshelves. That's what unos estantes means, and unos in this case means some. There is a big mirror. There is a big mirror. There is a black television. There are some cortinas rojas, which are red curtains. There's a cómoda verde, which is a green dresser. Hay un cuadro. Hay un escritorio. There's a desk. Hay una cama blanca. There's a white bed. Un armario nuevo, a new closet. An old computer, computadora vieja. And papelera pequeña, there's a small trash can. We can talk about even more things. And when you get to this part, if you're writing, then you can talk about there is or there are. You can say the thing that there is, and then you can say a word that describes it. Lavamanos, un pared verde. And I'm just clicking through all of them. E38. Okay. Last part. You guys are awesome. El vaso. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, to be. Yeah, here we go. So we use a star. So everybody write this in your notes. I think I made everybody write it last time. But for how you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. For how you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. And what does that mean? So for location, right, for where you are, and for feelings, instead of the verb ser, soy, right, you're going to use estoy. Or you're going to use some form of the verb estar, right? Estar means to be. So this is how you conjugate the verb estar. Estoy, yo estoy, tú estás, está, estamos, estás, and están. Notice accent marks go on everything except the first persons. Estoy and estamos. Everything else has an accent mark on it. Estás. And I always remember that one with the question, ¿Cómo estás? Right? That's for feelings. How are you? Right? And then that helps me understand that that's actually the to form because it has an S on the end. And he and she form doesn't have an S on the end there to describe feelings and locations. So if we talk about this vaso, a vaso is a cup, right? We say the cup está near, cerca del lápiz. The cup is near the pencil. El vaso está cerca de, and de and el combine in Spanish. There are two contractions in Spanish. De plus L equals del. And A plus O equals I. Every time you have those beside each other, they're kind of like magnets. They go together and they're just like, instead of de L, you put del. Instead of A L, you put I. El vaso está lejos del lápiz. So here we have the cup is far from the lápiz. Awesome. All right, and then we have sentimientos. Feliz, alegre, feliz, right? Happy. Feliz Navidad. Alegre, another, also alegre means happy, and contento. All three of those are together in that first picture. This one is triste, like a tragedy, right? Triste, sad. Nervioso, nervous. agitado, agitated. And these look a lot like English, right? This one might not look as much like English, but I bet you can see, oh, just kidding. That was this one. Ocupado is occupied, right? It looks like occupied, but it's really busy. So if I say estoy ocupada, it means I am busy. So if we look at this picture, it looks really kind of frenetic, right? Really busy out there. And then we have this word, enojado. Enojado, irritado, and furioso are all three the same. So we have enojado, irritado, and furioso. And then we have, so I think I did put confusion there. Okay, we have this word, sorprendido. Sorprendido is the word for surprise. And then we have cansado, which is the word for tired. So I don't know if I have one for tired. I think I skipped that one. So cansado is tired, and then sorprendido is the word for surprise. This guy's face. Last one. This is how I looked when I couldn't make it to class. Estresado. Estresado. And this last guy right here. What you guys probably are at the end of a long week is agotado or agotada, which is the word for exhausted. All right. So now we have possessive pronouns. And so possessive pronouns are different in Spanish. Can you say apostrophe S? Can you say Maria's? You can't. Yeah, you guys got it. Maria's mochila. What's wrong about that? What's wrong about that? We have to say la mochila de Maria in Spanish. We have to put the thing, and then we have to put de, and then we have to put the name of the person. So we have some other things that we can use, and these are called possessive pronouns. You guys have already learned about la mochila de Maria, hopefully, or like the mother of this person we're going to be learning about in chapter 4. But if you want to say my book, you're going to say mi libro. If you want to say my books, you're going to say mis libros. If it's a feminine word, you're going to say mi computadora or mis computadoras. Doesn't really change if it's feminine. But when we get over to our book, it's going to change a little bit. Nuestro libro, and then nuestros libros. And nuestra computadora, and then nuestras computadoras. That is going to change according to the gender and number of what you're describing. And then we have that same thing happening with your book. So, tu libro, tus libros, tu computadora, tus computadoras. If you're in Spain, you would say the book that you all have, vuestro libro, vuestros, vuestra, vuestras. That does change according to number and gender. Tu just is tu or tus. And then the last one is su or sus. His, her, or your, or su or sus, their or your. So su can mean his, su can mean her, and su can also mean your, the usted form. And it also can mean their or your plural. So su can mean a lot of different things. And so we often say el libro de ella, right? It's her book, right? So we can know that who we're referring to. We can say su libro as well. It's just helpful if we know exactly who is in the conversation when we're saying it, right? And you'll see su a lot of different places, and you can know, okay, that means his or her or your, or their if it's plural, and it can also mean your plural. Okay, last thing, I think tener is our verb that means to have. So if I say yo tengo, I'm saying I have. Do you have my book? ¿Tienes mi libro? We can put it in questions. ¿Tiene él una computadora? Does he have a computer? Do they have a televisor? ¿Tienen un televisor? Do you have my book? 5 words in English can be replaced with 3 words in Spanish. A lot of people are always like, how? Well, Spanish is a lot harder because it has a lot more words. Well, it just depends on the words that you're using. But sometimes it is longer, but sometimes it's shorter. So just give it a chance. You're going to do great. I'm so proud of you guys for going for it, because it's not easy to learn Spanish, and you guys are doing it online, which is even more impressive. Impresionante. Great. So tener is our verb, And these are the conjugations of it and the way that we're going to change it to answer our sentences. Okay. So if we want to say, I have and if I want to just say, I have a yellow computer. Let's review. How would I say, I have a yellow computer? What would I put in that space? I have a computadora on the end, sorry. And which one would we use, Rio? Great job. Would I use amarilla or would I use amarillo, and why? Yeah, you changed it. That's good. Because it's a computadora and it's la computadora, I'm going to say amarilla. That's correct. All right. If we talk about size, does anybody remember how to say, if I say la casa, first of all, do I put the adjective before or after if I want to say the big house? That's right, because computers are feminine. That's correct, Riley. If I want to say the big house, where do I put the word big? Before la casa or after la casa? So that would say grande casa. What's wrong with that? Mistakes are good because they help us learn, right? Would it be grande casa or would it be casa grande? Which one sounds better to your ears? Yeah, it would go after. And the reason why is because, is it quality or quantity? Quality or quantity? Is it telling us how many houses or is it telling us what the house is like? That would be how many. It's quality. That's right. I didn't see your answer there. Quality. Right? This quality about the house, that goes after. If it's a quantity, if I wanted to say muchas casas grandes, that quantity is muchas, right? Or pocas casas grandes. A few, right? That goes before two. So muchas and pocas, or numbers, right? Dos casas grandes. Y viejas. If I want to add in an adjective, dos casas grandes y viejas. I can add a second adjective there. All right, we talked about rooms in the house, and you guys are now well versed in how to describe them. En la cocina hay una mesa grande y verde. In the kitchen, there is a table that is green and big, or big and green. Talked about muebles or cosas en la casa. We talked about gender and number. We talked about the verb to be, how it is for how you feel and where you are. We talked about possessive pronouns, and lastly, we reviewed the verb tener. All right, so as we leave, I want to show you one place that you can practice this. And a really great study Spanish website that I have is actually called Study Spanish. And it has a lot of really great free stuff on there. So I'm going to put that one in the link for you. I'll put this in here for you too, so you have a link to word reference. All right. Also, let me see if I can just give you the link to this presentation so you can grab those. Hopefully we'll have the link to this video or to this presentation if you would like it. At Study Spanish, you're going to click on grammar, and then inside of the grammar tool, there are a lot of really great things over here. What we just talked about tonight was this gender of nouns right here, gender of nouns 1, gender of nouns 2. And then also we probably did a few things here. Possessive adjectives, right? And I don't think they have gender or number here. I think they go over that in the gender, plural forms of nouns. So these three things will walk you through a lot of great stuff. I specifically really enjoy gender of nouns part 2 because it teaches you that if something ends in an O, right, it's usually masculine. If it ends in an A, it's feminine. But if something ends in an E, it can refer to both masculine and feminine if it's a noun that describes a person, right? El estudiante, la estudiante. Nouns that end in sion, dad, tad, tud, and umbre, those are feminine nouns. And so if it ends in any of those things, you can be like, oh, actually, that ends in sion. That's going to be a feminine word. So you don't have to always look up those words. Some nouns that end in an A, have you guys ever heard anybody say no problema? Try to mimic Spanish. So tonight you can know there's actually no problema instead of no problema, even though it rhymes when you say no problema, right? That's why people say it. But the answer is no problema, because problema, even though it ends in an MA, it's a masculine word, right? That doesn't have anything to do with no problema, but just so you can know those things. All right. So nouns that end in A are masculine. All of these words down to idioma are all masculine, even though they end in an A, they're actually masculine words. And these two at the end, they're masculine too. They just don't follow the pattern. So here are the ones that are MA. Here are the ones that are, if you look at these words, a few nouns that end in MA, like cama and pluma, those are feminine words. These words don't follow any pattern. Dia, mapa, planeta, and sofa. And then mano and radio are feminine. So the really great thing about these quizzes is you can also take the basic quiz. So if you look right here, there's a basic quiz and you can take it for free. And it asks those questions and you can answer them to just kind of quiz yourself. Like which word is masculine? We chose el dia here. Which word is feminine? All right, so that's all I have for you tonight. And those are really free and great examples for you to do. I won't go through them all with you, but you can check them out and check out the instruction and then try the basic quiz, or just try the basic quiz to kind of give yourself a leg up on what you're learning. All right, so I'm going to stop my share. And I'm just going to say thanks so much for coming and thanks for waiting on me. I'm so sorry about my crazy internet, but I appreciate you hanging out and still sticking around to hang out with me tonight. Sorry for the late Sunday night, but I appreciate you guys. It's okay, no worries. You guys too. If anybody has any questions, please stick around. I'll be here. But if you don't, then you're ready to go. I hope you have a great night and I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you guys. Bye. You guys are awesome. Bye, Rio. Tú también, Sana. Bye. Have a good night. I like that smiley face. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining me.